Now at 6, a shooting in Carthage sends one man to the hospital and two brothers to jail. Plus, a family in Carthage tries to get back on their feet after a fire destroys their home. And some students in Allen County, Kansas take care of business at the annual Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Carthage man is in the hospital tonight. Two brothers are in jail following a shooting in Carthage. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. First responders were called to the 400 block of South Warner Avenue last night for reports of gunshots. They found 27-year-old Austin Hodge from Carthage with life-threatening gunshot wounds, multiple wounds, they say. At last report, Hodge was hospitalized in critical condition. Police have now arrested two brothers in that case, 23-year-old Dylan Hershey and 19-year-old Hunter Hershey, both of Carthage, are in the Jasper County Jail, facing charges of first-degree assault, unlawful use of a weapon, and armed criminal action. Carthage family is struggling to get back on their feet after losing almost everything in this house fire last month. Amber Smiley, her boyfriend, and a number of children were in the home when fire swept through in the early morning hours of February 19th. Firefighters' equipment froze in the bitterly cold temperatures. They worked on that fire for about 6 hours, then returned later that day to deal with rekindling. Everyone in the house did make it out alive, with Amber dealing with the aftermath of smoke inhalation and their cat suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Amber says she's just glad her family is safe.
There's no words to put to it. It was heartbreaking in every direction. Because those things are things that I can't replace. Those are things and memories that I can't rebuild.
Amber says she hopes to rebuild and continue living in Carthage. We're going to have a link to donate to their GoFundMe at KOAMNewsNow.com, and we're going to have a lot more on this story for you tonight on KOAM News at 10. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, it is a beautiful night outside, a little cold, but we got clear skies, a nice sunset. Temperatures are dropping down through the low 40s, and we are still seeing winds gusting up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour in some areas. Now, Joplin, about 17 miles per hour, Pittsburgh, 15 miles per hour. So you can see how the winds are starting to diminish as we head into this evening, and both of our wind advisories and wind warnings have cleared out as well. Now, overnight tonight, we are going to see winds shifting out of the south as we head into Thursday morning, which helps with our nice warm up. So Thursday, we're getting into the upper 50s, which is a nice 10-degree jump from what we saw today. And then Friday, another 10-degree jump, upper 60s and low 70s, though we do have winds increasing again on Friday ahead of a front that drops our temperatures back down on Saturday. But I'm going to have a full look coming up.
See you soon. Students in Allen County, Kansas are taking the idea of starting their own business and turning it into a potential reality. In its second year in Allen County, the Young Entrepreneurship Challenge allows high school students to have their business ideas critiqued and judged. KOAM's Anthony Saviello shows us just a few of the businesses that could one day become reality.
The days of contemplating starting a business are over. At least they are for high schoolers in Allen County.
The creativity, like some of these businesses I would never even think of, and they knock it out of the water with some of these. So it's really interesting to see the different types of businesses that come up throughout the years.
Whether the business is already something they have been working on with family.
My dad's a welder, and we started this business whenever he got laid off for like COVID, and then we kind of just sold to like our friends and family.
Or a new idea to help make life a little easier.
So the patient can call or schedule on our website, and you basically tell us like what their condition is, what do they need, and we'll, by like deciphering what they need and stuff, we will send a doctor to fit their needs like straight to their house. I got it from my dad kind of. He was sick like not too long ago, and he's like, oh, I just don't want to leave my house. I wish I could have a doctor come here. So he was kind of telehealthing. And I was like, oh, that's actually a great idea. You know, a doctor coming to your house.
These students now have the chance to showcase their ideas, but not without diving into a Shark Tank.
It will, like, if I go to like other trade shows, then I will know what to do and kind of prepare me for those.
being able to interview better in front of people, explain stuff better, and I guess, yeah, just get our knowledge across to other people.
Not to mention, the top 3 go home a little bit richer with hopes they will invest into their ideas even further. In Humboldt, Kansas, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Some great ideas there. A total of $1,900 in prize money was awarded to students, with the first place winner automatically getting the chance to showcase at the state level. We wish them well. If you see a social worker today, you might want to take a moment to show your appreciation, because it's National Social Work Month. From hospital care to homelessness, child care, and beyond, these professionals work to make a difference in our communities. We spoke to some people in Joplin about the role social workers play in their lives.
We're very thankful to have social workers. They work with us with hospice residents and also with home health. They're just a vital part of our community here local at Wildwood Senior Living and Joplin and in the United States.
Social workers are the heart of our business. They're the ones that really drive those connections with the families in several different areas. We have behavioral health, adoption, and then our parenting services.
According to a report by Columbia University, there's a substantial shortage of social workers across much of our nation, with rural areas getting hit the hardest. Sports Director John Dales is in Kansas City tonight. He's going to report on the start of the MIAA basketball tournament a little bit later. Also ahead, experts warn tax season can also bring tax scam season. We have tips to protect yourself. But first, drivers in southwest Missouri will soon see the impact of an I-44 widening project. MoDOT's going to soon kick off a 5-year widening project on Interstate 44, starting Monday on the busiest stretch through Springfield. Adam Woodbury reports on the challenge for thousands of vehicles.
So there's going to be a lot of work, and it's a very big project for the city of Springfield.
$70 million in a little more than 2 years. That's how much time and money MoDOT is spending to revitalize the I-44 corridor here in Springfield. The goal? To widen the interstate to 6 lanes.
We're going to have single lane traffic control up, and we'll start doing our shoulder strengthening, which allows us to start shifting traffic in about a month or 2 months out.
The project will be done in 2 phases. The first is from Glenstone to Highway 65, then from Glenstone to Kansas Expressway.
We'll have all new pavement on I-44, and we're also going to be adding additional lanes in both eastbound and westbound direction.
MoDOT plans to do what work it can at night, when crews will reduce traffic to 1 lane to minimize impacts on morning commuters. And there's also bridges that will be replaced, 6 of them, on National, Broadway, and Grant Avenue. And each of those roads could be closed up to 4.5 months as crews replace the bridges.
As we get into the project, we're going to be splitting traffic and moving traffic from one side to the other. So they're just going to have to use some caution, slow down, be off your phones while you're working through this work zone.
Interstate 44 was started in 1956, completed in 1966. The 293-mile freeway is one of the oldest in the U.S. As long as that project stays on schedule, it's supposed to wrap up in Springfield in May of 2027. Some students in Commerce celebrate the middle of the week in a wacky fashion. Their story's coming up later.
And we have a nice warm up as we head into the weekend. I'll have those details right after this. Well, it's been a windy day and a chillier day following our intense low pressure system that came through just a couple of days ago. So taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We still are seeing those winds gusting up to 20, 25 miles per hour, but clear skies now. We did have a nice drop in temperatures yesterday. We got up to the upper 50s today. We only hit mid 40s, about 45 degrees. And you can see our low was right about freezing, but tonight we're getting even colder than that. Now, rain amounts across the area, we did see quite a bit. Pittsburgh area got up to about 3 inches of rain. The Joplin area got up to about 2 inches of rain. But the most rainfall accumulation was out in Caney near Coffeyville, near Independence, about 5 inches of rain. So definitely saw some areas that received quite a bit, maybe even some flooding issues there. But we're now going on a nice long stretch of sunny skies, not a lot of rain chances over the next 10 days. And we also are seeing clouds moving out tonight. Now, temperatures dropping down to the upper 20s, so it is a cooler night than it was last night, but winds are much lighter, much calmer, so we don't see as bad of a wind chill tonight. As we head into Thursday, we're going to start to see some partly cloudy skies as early as 7 to 8 a.m., but clouds increase earlier in the afternoon. Now, if they hold off by a couple of hours, we're going to hit about 60 degrees. If not, we're going to stay in that upper 50s range. But let's go ahead and look at our future track. So, you can see that first round of a bit of clouds moving in along that warm front. So winds are shifting out of the south as we start Thursday morning, about 6:30, 7 a.m. Temperatures getting down to the upper 20s. Now, by 4 p.m., you can see most of us are getting those overcast skies. We have some upper level clouds, which won't block out the sun too bad, so we might still hit about 60 degrees. And then overcast continues to push in from the southwest. Now, winds are out of the south, looking pretty good. We've got that warm front. And then we have winds picking up out of the southwest as we head into Thursday night and Friday morning. Winds are going to be strong. We're going to see wind gusts again up to 45, 50 miles per hour. Ahead of our next front, that's going to start to move in late Friday night and into early Saturday morning. As of right now, we're just seeing overcast along that front that pushes in, but I do have a 10% chance that we might see an isolated shower along that boundary as well. Now, ahead of that front, though, like I said, we are seeing those winds starting to pick up out of the southwest, gusting up to 45, 50 miles per hour. And this is going to be late Thursday night, so about 10, 11 p.m. tomorrow, and then continuing overnight and into Friday morning, so about 7 a.m. It is still going to be mostly clear skies by 7, but we are going to see those winds out of the west gusting 40, 45 miles per hour. That continues until that front finally pushes through late Friday night and into Saturday morning, and you're going to see light winds out of the north as we head into Saturday. So Saturday is going to be a bit cooler. We're only dropping down to the lower 50s across the area. A little bit warmer on Sunday. We're getting into the upper 50s, low 60s. So it's going to be much nicer. And then that trend just continues as we head into the start of next week. Now, winds do pick up again Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but Monday and Tuesday we're finally back into the 70s. So I'm going to just ignore those winds and be able to spend some time outside if I can, because it's going to be beautiful weather at the start of next week.
Yeah, what's a little wind? It's
nothing.
a windy time of the year anyway. That's all right.
That's true.
Temps look good. Thanks, Wendy. Many people take time to do their taxes this time of year, and that can be stressful, of course. Unfortunately, that stress can be compounded by dealing with tax scams. Scammers usually come in one of two forms, both posing as IRS agents. One scam demands payment for back taxes. The other claims you can receive a refund just by giving some personal information.
Some sort of creditor payment. So, for example, consumers have told BBB about getting text messages that say they are eligible for an economic impact payment. Just need some personal information from you and a link to click in the text message. Now, the IRS, they are never going to contact you via text message. It's so important to know that. So don't bite when you see that unsolicited IRS imposter text.
Good to know. We have more tips for protecting yourself from tax scams on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Still ahead, Missouri Southern women's basketball plays its first game of the MIAA tournament. John Dales joins us from Kansas City with a preview of tonight's action. That's up next in sports.
Hey, and welcome to Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City. I'm KOAM Sports Director John Dales, and I'll be here for the next few days covering the madness that is college basketball in the month of March, specifically the MIAA tournament, which tips off its first few games today. Now, we've already had a couple of contests this afternoon. Missouri Southern women's basketball is about to start its first round game against Northwest Missouri. The Lions are an 8 seed, the Bearcats are the 9 seed, and this is the second meeting of the year between these two teams. Back on February 13th, Missouri Southern lost 62-54. Now that was a road game in Maryville. Tonight, Missouri Southern hopes to keep its season alive with the win. Well, the first day of competition here, it just gives us the 7 against 10 and 8 against 9 games. So Pittsburgh State, both Pittsburgh State teams have the night off. In fact, Pitt State men's basketball doesn't play until Friday. But let's talk about the PSU women. They face the winner of tonight's contest between Missouri Southern and Northwest Missouri. Now, here's a look at the women's basketball bracket for the MIAA tournament. As you can see, the Gorillas are the #1 overall seed after winning the regular season conference championship. The first game's tomorrow at 6. Now, the only team to beat Pittsburgh State in the MIAA this year is Fort Hays State. They're the #2 overall seed. Now, those two teams wouldn't see each other until Sunday. That would be the championship game if they both make it that far. Now, here's the men's bracket. You'll notice no Missouri Southern. The Lions failed to qualify after a 13th place regular season finish. Now, the Pitt State men don't play until Friday at noon. They're the 4 seed. They play Nebraska Kearney in the quarterfinals. That's a team who they beat by 7 just a couple of weeks ago. Now, this time of year, not only do we have college basketball into the postseason, we're also deep into high school basketball playoffs here in the 4 states, Kansas, Oklahoma, and in Missouri. Now, last night, a ton of our local teams, they either punched their ticket to the sub-state championship in Kansas, or they had their season come to an end. Tonight, in Kansas girls Class 2A, the #1 team in the state, Colgan, is at home against Central Heights. The Lady Panthers are 18-2. They have not lost to any 2A teams in the regular season, and they share the CNC League title with Girard. Another 2A sub-state semifinal features Southeast girls basketball at home against Eureka. And as we move up to Class 3A, the boys semifinals are tonight. The #1 seed Galena takes on 9 seed Frontenac. The Bulldogs are undefeated, but the Raiders have been the closest team to beating them this year. They've lost 2 games by a combined total of 3 points. The second one was at the buzzer. The 13 seed Girard also in action tonight on the road at 5 seed Fredonia. And then in Class 4A, girls sub-state semifinals are tonight. All of our boys 4A teams actually lost last night. This evening, Fort Scott, the #4 seed, hosts 13 seed Ottawa, and then 5 seed Labette County is at home against 12 seed Tonganoxie. If each of them win, that sets up a 3rd meeting of the year between the Lady Tigers and Lady Grizzlies in the sub-state championship. Fort Scott has won each of the first 2. That's it for sports. We'll be back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. We're going to have the latest on that family in Carthage who lost nearly everything in a fire. Plus, as the Trump administration imposes tariffs, we're going to take a look at the potential impacts in Southwest Missouri. And some area agencies show their appreciation for social workers during National Social Worker Appreciation Month. Those stories, a lot more, of course, it's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Some kiddos at Commerce Public School celebrated the middle of the week in a rather wacky fashion. Wacky Wednesday brought out students dressed in some fun and kind of wacky clothes. Students received stickers and bookmarks, perfect for a little wacky reading with some Dr. Seuss.
We just hope that they'll remember that reading is for enjoyment, and that they will just remember the thrill of reading all the different things that they can get their hands on.
Other events for the week included a family reading night with 2 area authors and fundraising effort for the local animal shelter. All of it fun, some of it wacky.
Oh, definitely wacky.
The weather looking pretty good.
Oh, I'm so excited for this weather in the upcoming week. So temperatures are warming up on Thursday, upper 50s, a little bit windier on Friday, but 70s, so I'm excited.
Sounds great. See you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.